Now, the Biden administration is set to finish several gaps in the wall in the state of Arizona, despite candidate Joe Biden saying there would not be another foot of border wall built under his watch. Still, the White House is refusing to call it what it is. Abe Hamadeh is a candidate for Attorney General in Arizona. Abe, appreciate you joining us on this.
Thanks for having me on, Carl.
All right, so just for the viewers out there, if you don't believe me, let's go to some receipts on the Joe Biden not building the wall. Take a look.
Trump campaigned on build that wall. Are you willing to tear that wall down?
No, there will not be another foot of wall constructed in my administration, number one.
Abe, that promise was broken, but I'm happy to say I'm glad he did. What do you think?
Absolutely. But you know what's even more shocking, Carl? If you actually read the statement from the Department of Homeland Security and the White House briefing today, the reason why they're building that wall is for the safety of the illegal immigrant crossers, not for the safety of Americans, not for our sovereignty. Yeah. And that's what's shocking. That's what's going on. So, 160,000 people actually crossed that border crossing in Yuma, and that's a 4 times increase from this time last year. So that to me was the most damaging thing from the administration, the statement. But I am glad they're building it. However, there's political calculations involved in it as well. There's a tough U.S. Senate race here, and I know they're trying to get the Democrat a big win for that as well.
Well, Abe, I don't care if they're building it for aliens or Canadian geese. As long as it's getting built, it doesn't really matter to me. But this is an issue, though. Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, aside from just struggling in general, she has really struggled on this today. Take a look at this.
President Biden, when he was a candidate, said there will not be another foot of wall constructed in my administration. Yeah. So what changed?
We are not finishing the wall.
If walls work in that part of Arizona, is this the administration trying to get migrants to cross somewhere else, like in Texas? What is the plan?
We are not finishing a wall. We are cleaning up the mess that the prior administration made. We are trying to save lives. This is what the prior administration left behind that we are now cleaning up.
By finishing the wall, is this?
We are not finishing the wall.
By filling in, finishing?
We are not finishing the wall.
By filling in, is this racist? Because in 2019, when the former guy was proposing a wall, you said that it was his racist wall. So how is this any different? I'm just having a hard time understanding how this is any different.
I'm not even sure how you get to your first question to this question that you just asked me. I will say this: a border wall. I'm answering your question. A border wall is ineffective use of taxpayer dollars.
If you say it enough times, Abe, it's not true.
Yeah, the mental gymnastics that went on over there is quite funny. But, if you actually come to southern Arizona, you'll see Barack Obama was even building a wall here in Arizona. It's a much shorter wall than the Trump wall that was built. But obviously, we have to close the gaps. The materials are right on the border for us to use. But besides just the wall, there is some point to it that the wall isn't going to stop a lot of people. However, it slows them down significantly. So when you have the wall, they're going to still try crossing over, but it slows them down significantly so that we can apprehend them and so they don't have a number of gotaways into the country.
Yeah, well, if walls don't work, why do they work? Simple questions that you and I have no problem understanding, but the very smart people in D.C. We're not building the wall. So Eric Adams, Mayor Bowser out of Washington, D.C., obviously, and New York City. After all the time, we are sanctuary cities. We are a sanctuary state. We welcome everybody with open arms. Not so much. Look at this.
We have for sure called on the federal government to work across state lines to prevent people from really being tricked into getting on buses.
Really? Tricked from getting on buses. They've also, Mayor Adams said it's overwhelming our school districts, and Mayor Bowser said it's overwhelming our homeless shelters. So it's fine to tell Texas and Arizona and California and all these places, you have to harbor these 200,000+ people that came across the border this year, but don't you dare send them to our place, right?
It's the typical elites in Washington and New York who have no understanding of what's going on in Texas and in Arizona. Originally when Governor Greg Abbott, who was the first to lead this to lead this policy where he was actually transporting illegals by bus voluntarily and into D.C. So, and Arizona followed suit. Initially people were calling it a publicity stunt, which, for a certain degree it is, but it actually seems to have ramifications for it, which I'm all about. It's highlighted the fact on, look at the strain on resources it's causing Washington, D.C. and New York City right now. That's the exact same type of pain that we're feeling right here in Arizona. And if it takes, having the illegals have to go right into the backyard of President Biden, so be it, because we need help here. And luckily, we just got it with the building of the wall, but we need a lot more help. I think the asylum policies definitely need to change because it's being taken advantage of, and the rest of the world sees our weakness right now.
Yeah, it's funny when the anvil of reality just comes right down on the Democrats' foot. Especially all this time that, New York City has 13, 14 million people, and they're taking just a few busloads of people, but the southern border is taking tens, if not hundreds of thousands a month. It is shocking to me. Now, Abe, you recently got an endorsement from some relatively unknown guy, former President Trump. Tell us how that felt.
Oh, actually, Carl, it was great. He called me on his birthday, June 14th. So it's a very memorable day. And, he called me, and it was a great conversation. And I had the honor to speak with him at the rally here in Prescott Valley, Arizona last week. And, we just got a poll. We got a few poll results back today. We're up big. The Trump bump is huge, and he's the most powerful political force in politics. So we're going to take it for the win this Tuesday.
We actually have the endorsement. Why don't we go ahead and roll that tape?
We're also thrilled to be joined by two terrific additional candidates. Your next Attorney General, who's tremendous, I know him well, Abe Hamadeh. Thank you, Abe. Get out and vote for Abe. I hear you're doing well, too. I look at those poll numbers.
There it is, Abe. I mean, best of luck with you. Thank you so much for joining us. So it's always great to hear him back at the podium. Have a good one.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Carl.
All right.